Hey, we're live and we're back.
Hi,
I'm
y'all.
alive. For those people who thought I was dying, I'm alive.
I, for one, am really glad you are up and about and you're doing great. So, yay, Tim, Mr.
It
T.
was. I think it was the peppermint schnapps.
I think
Really,
so.
it's almost like it was a bug inside of me that I couldn't get released. I wasn't like throwing up. I wasn't like anything like that. But I had a fever that I could not get rid of. I
Oh,
mean, like 104, and could not
oh,
get rid of it.
that's
And
bad.
it was tough. All right. And like it made me not want to eat, made me not want to
Oh,
drink. All right. And then when I finally got the fever to break and I got it down to like 101, I was able to eat something. Right. But like I was worried at first. I was like, oh my God, don't tell me I'm gonna have another Christmas with COVID. Right. Because I had last Christmas
yeah,
in 2020, I had COVID for Christmas. This year it
right.
wasn't. It was just a fever. The fever finally broke on Saturday morning. All right. And I was back to normal temperatures. But once I was able to get the temperature down and food into my system, it started breaking it down a lot faster. And I think that's what made me think it
Oh,
was just like a stomach bug, but it wasn't like a stomach bug that makes you want to vomit. You know what I mean? I had a lot of gas, and I do think it was the peppermint schnapps. And the reason I say that is because Gwen started to make cookies the other day. All right. And while she was making cookies, she put peppermint in the cookies and like it started to make me sick from upstairs.
oh gosh. So I think so, because I think you had said something about that peppermint schnapps, and we had talked about making
Yeah.
sure you're getting the high quality stuff. Whenever you're doing anything like that, you definitely need that high quality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't go with that lower proof. Just spend the money, because you're going to pay for it one way or another. You're going to pay with the pocketbook, or you're going to end up paying being sick. And that's being sick is
I,
never fun. It throws
I
you
will
down.
probably not touch peppermint schnapps for 10 years.
I believe it. You
And
hadn't touched it a few.
truthfully is the last time I got sick from alcohol was um Jägermeister. I drank too much of
Oh,
it.
yeah. Jaeger will do that.
Alcohol
Jaeger,
poisoning. I drank too much of it.
yeah, that's never good. And your body will react. Your body will say, no, you are
Yeah.
not to do this. So
Yeah.
it's
I haven't touched Jägermeister since. And that was, I think, 2004.
okay. Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that might have been about the last time I touched Jägermeister. I was so sick, and I had ran out of cold medicine, so I did a couple of shots of Jaeger, and I was like, I'm good now.
Oh no, wait a minute. No, I had a voice thing once in 2012 when I
Okay.
first started doing live events, and I had a voice where I lost my voice,
Oh,
but I had a scheduled a live event where I'm supposed to be talking. And literally, my speaking coach at the time said, "Go to the bar and get a shot of Jägermeister." And I'm like, "Oh man, I don't want to do Jägermeister." He says, "Do it." And sure enough, I had 15 minutes of voice.
wow. Okay.
So I learned that about. So anyway, so tonight, anyway, I'm Tim Gillette, Mr. T, and my co-host is.
Gladys Boutwell, Lady G.
And tonight we're kind of like a little more relaxed. All right, it is the holidays. I actually this is the first time I think I've been up in my office in a week.
Well, I'm working from home this afternoon. I'm doggy sitting a little husky.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
By little, I mean like 85-pound husky. And I had to literally travel through snow. It did snow in the Pacific Northwest here in Portland. I was at the coast since last Wednesday. We drove over the pass on Sunday, and it was snowing. It was snowing at the beach. I mean, it was snowing sideways, that when you were looking into it, it looked like you were in Star Wars, where just, all these white coming towards you. It was loud. It was like, oh my goodness, it was the windows were just warping. It was scary. It was scary at times. And then it kind of subsided a little bit, and the sun would come out and then do it all over again. But coming over on Sunday, it was snowing, and I'm stressing out. And Sean ended up giving me a set of studded winter tires that I've been in Oregon for 10 years, had never had winter tires. And so put those on, and it took 3.5 hours. Thank you, Les Schwab, for taking care of me, because I was a walk-in. And in 3.5 hours, they put on my new tires, which was great, because my one tire kept deflating, and I kept having low tire pressure. So it was like perfect timing. I was able to get the boy and then take care of work stuff and then come home. And I'm like, okay, this is where we're going to be relaxed. And I'm gonna be on my couch and I'm gonna be relaxed. So that's been my day. So it's been a little crazy.
Cool. So, hey, Lynn's stopping in. Hello, Lynn. Thanks for
Hey,
stopping in.
Lynn.
So anyway, this week we decided we're just going to taste and enjoy some champagnes because it's usually what people do on New Year's Eve is champagnes.
Right. And there's so much you can do with champagnes and so many different wines. And I usually try not to go with anything sweet just because I end up with a headache. And it tastes delicious. Don't get me wrong. I love the sweetness, but at the same time, it's afterwards I have a headache and it's no fun. So I've stayed away for the most part on the sweet champagnes, unless it's just a little taster, what have you. But if I'm going to be drinking a little bit more than that, then I want to stick with the brutes and if it's a dry brut, even more because it doesn't have that sweetness to it. And whatever's in it tastes much better for me. And you can do so much more with it to mix. So that's kind of the fun part.
Yeah. Now the ones that we usually get now I'm very much a Mum person. All right.
Okay.
Here and we've been to Mum Winery in California to actually taste it at site. But Mum is something we can get in our local Kroger. All right. As well as our Total Wine and More. And I think Mum's pretty much, around the country. It's kind of I want to say it's a low end, but it's a good quality low end champagne.
Right.
Yeah.
It is. It's very reasonably priced. Get it by the case, and if you're getting 6 or more at Kroger, they're going to give you an additional discount.
They always do. Yeah.
So go that route, or sometimes try different ones, and that way different people can try different ones, and they'll go, "Oh, I like this," or "I like that." So you don't have to go all out. I mean, you can if it's truly a very, very special occasion. Then you want something that's a little bit more high end. But if not, go with something that is going to be within your budget and it's going to taste good. You gotta like it. And I'm going to be trying some stuff that I haven't tried before, but we'll give you some ideas of what you can do. If there's something that you said, not my favorite, what can you do to make it taste good? Because that's all you got.
Yeah. So, let's start off with, first of all right, let's talk about the glasses we drink champagne in, because I have a flute here for a champagne flute, right? If you've seen our episode 2 weeks ago, I actually had the little round dish. I was going to bring them up again, but they were champagne glasses that my wife's great aunt used. Like they're probably 100+ years old. Another thing that we have for them is we have these little aluminum flutes.
Oh, okay.
All right. That. And believe it or not, like for us, because we want to take champagne to the pool. All right. We can have glass at our pool. So we have these and we have 2 plastic ones that we have. All right. But we have a set of these that we can have champagne with at any time. So, and they're literally, they're.
I'm going to have to get those. I like that.
Very durable. I'll have to send you a set for Christmas.
I love those. I'm like, I can use something like that. I have this really cute one. I took my glasses to the office because originally I was going to do this from the office. And of course, as I was leaving the office, I didn't even think about it. And then I got home and I'm like, my glasses. And so I have a set actually. These are very special. These are Tiffany.
Oh, they're Tiffany's. Oh my God. Oh, you're going all out.
Well, because that's all I have. So usually those are just decor. I got them from Sandra Yancey from eWomen. It was a gift that I got back in, I think it was, she had an event that was online, and they actually called out my name, and it was like, oh my goodness, so it was pretty exciting. She packed them and shipped them. So these are from Sandra Yancey eWomen, but they are not discontinued flutes. So I'm pretty, it's going to be kind of special. So I'm like stressing.
We quit buying those expensive ones because we break them around here.
Right. And hence why I'm stressing, because I'm like going, I cannot break these when I'm using them for the very first time.
So I've got 2 champagnes that I actually got number one, I got my Mum, right? I got a Brut Mum.
Okay. Oh,
all right.
Let me grab
actually, if you look at Brut, or if you look at Mum champagnes, they're usually in the store. You can see them, and their labels are 3 colors. Right. The black is the Brut, like Prestige. All right. The blue is just a regular Brut. It's not like it's a more dry.
Okay.
And then the pink one is their rosé, and that's the 3 they have in the stores. At their location, we've had more than that, but this is one of my favorites here. I will drink this by itself, and I put like a couple little usually we put like orange, the zest off the
Oh,
peels of the
yes.
orange into ours. I
Mhm.
didn't bring them up. I meant to bring them up today, but anyway. And one of the things I've always done, and I always I brought my napkin up, all right, to open these.
Yes, that's
All
important.
right.
You need to have something, because a lot of times you see them at weddings or festivities where the corks are flying and you hear the big pop. That's not exactly safe.
No,
So
no.
whenever you're opening
I
anything, make
always
sure
put
you're
mine over
protecting.
like this so I
Yes,
control it.
yes, and always turn the bottle, not the top. So this is one that I've not seen before. It's got a protector over it. So we're
No,
gonna
those are the
see.
ones that you turn. You have the small bottles. Those you
Oh,
turn. They're almost like an opener. You turn like a bottle opener.
oh. Okay, oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, imagine that. Okay, so if you're giving these little ones out, hey. So this one is, this is a brute from Dandelion, product of Italy.
Oh,
So
Italy.
yeah, yes, it's an Italian one. It's, it came in a little pack. No, I don't have the little box here, but I got it at Kroger. It was a pack of 6 for like $25. So hey, why the heck not? Let's try something different. But did you know a little bit of history when it comes to sparklings and champenoise? Most people think of Dom Perignon, and
Well,
he's the
yeah,
one
it's a
that's.
very famously known name, but yeah,
Yep.
I don't think I've ever drank it. And
I
yeah,
haven't
have
either.
you?
I have not. I
Yeah,
have not. And you can't call it champagne unless it's from
from
Champagne,
Champagne,
France.
France.
Yes. So other than that, you're looking at a sparkling,
Mhm,
is what most you're going to see them, or a spumante or a champenois. They can call it anything else except champagne, unless
mhm.
it's from Champagne, France. But it was way back when they called it the Merry Widows, because back in the day, women were not allowed to have their own bank account unless a husband or a brother or a dad signed off. So the widows, once their husbands passed away, they could do whatever they wanted. Nobody bothered with them. The wife was, ruled by the husband, the daughter was ruled by dad, but the widows, they were the ones that had the ability to do whatever they wanted. And so they are the ones who, they called them the Merry Widows, were the ones that made Champenois a big deal and really made it more mainstream.
Mhm.
So you got to thank the women for doing some marketing. So,
Again, if I didn't have a woman on my broadcast, I probably wouldn't have a broadcast. That's why I've got Gladys. A woman always is there to save the day.
well,
Cheers.
I got to say, it truly is. Thank you for that, because you're the one who's making all the broadcast piece of it happen. But if it wasn't for your wife, because she's the one that keeps you on track, she's the one that does all the shopping, she's the one that's picking things up.
Yeah.
You're like, you're the one who's telling me, okay, this is what was picked up, and it wasn't you.
Yeah.
So you got your woman behind you, so that's a good thing.
So, but yeah, so I drink this one by itself. All right. Now, a lot of people do get some champagnes that are or sparklings that they don't like. What do you add to yours? Like I add the zest from the orange, and that's one of the things
Mhm.
I'll have that in it, and that by itself.
So there's a few things that are pretty simple. One of them is, I didn't grab the strawberries because they didn't look as pretty. So I grabbed raspberries. That is
Mm,
something else that I do. So some raspberries, throw a couple of raspberries in there.
mhm, mhm,
And then you can always, like one of them, make sure that you break it up just a little bit, but you want it to look pretty in your glass.
mhm,
So it gives you some color and it'll give you some taste. And then you can take a bite of the raspberry as you're drinking, or the strawberry.
mhm, mhm.
Um, there's a lot more you can do with it. You can put in pineapple juice. You can put in grapefruit juice. I don't like grapefruit, but you can do a sparkling wine bar. So then you can have some orange juice also.
Yeah.
This is, a mimosa. And one of the things that, so I went to Divine Complexions. It's a spa, if you will, here in Wilsonville, locally owned and operated. They're just wonderful. And one of the things they do is they give you sparkling water or sparkling wine. And they always, oh, so are you on break, or is it after work? So that way they know what to offer you. And so they were offering a mimosa and they said, more juice or more sparkling? I'm like, well, more sparkling, as 3/4 to 1/4.
Yeah.
And they learned that different people like different ways of drinking their sparkling. So let people make their own thing. That makes it a lot of fun.
I know you
I
said strawberry, but have you ever put cantaloupe with it.
I thought about it, and I have honeydew. I've not tried
Oh,
it.
honey. Oh, yeah. I've had honeydew with it. To me, the sweetness in the honeydew comes out with the champagne.
Yeah. So that's another thing. And then what I was looking for was, is it Chambord, that little fat bottle that has the gold around it. And it's more of it's a liqueur, and it is, oh my goodness. I can't even describe what the flavor is, and it gives it a little bit of a pink color, so it looks like you're drinking a rosé, but it has a completely different taste to it. I don't care for it. So they said, oh, what about some Grand Marnier? And I went, well, I never would have thought of putting Grand Marnier in my sparkling. So we're going to see if I like this, but I'm going to drink a little bit more of it because I don't want to. This particular brut tastes really good. I like it. It's not too much bubbles and not too sweet, not too tart. It's just got a really nice balance. So this would be one that I feel I could drink on its own. And if I want to add some orange juice, that's usually my go-to is orange juice. But if you're having some during the summer, pineapple juice, why not? Make
pineapple juice goes. Yeah, I've had pineapple juice mostly in the summer. I do pineapple juice, but creme de cassis we use is that we put we put in ours, and they call it they call that something else, and I can't think of what they call it. And that's something we've had a lot of. And I didn't bring anything up, guys. I'm sorry. I decided to come on air and just bring the champagne up. I did bring the necessities. So I have champagne bottle. I have the way to cork champagne bottle.
Yes.
So as not to lose the fizz to it.
Exactly. Because I have a small bottle, I'm going to go the ghetto way, and I'm going to use a teaspoon. This actually works. I don't care what people tell you, it actually works. There is something with the metal that keeps that bubbles in there. It's only going to hold for maybe another day. So if you're drinking it that same day, that is going to be perfectly fine to make sure that it does not go flat. But I do have my good one that
How
this
long
one got open.
have you kept champagne in your refrigerator?
So this one was opened on December 1st. And I remember this because I was with Women to Women Network. And because I am an ambassador of Willamette Valley Vineyards, I got to present some of the Willamette Valley Vineyard wines. And the last one was the Champenois Brut, Bernot. This is the Bernot Estate Method Champenois Brut. So this bottle got opened. I don't know why, because it is only to here. So it should never have been opened. I closed it. I haven't opened it since December 1st. So I'm going to find out if this one is still good. And so it's been 27 days. So that's really good Champenois. So we're going to find out. The Grand Marnier actually gave it a good flavor. Not a whole lot. It was just a little bit of a little something. Yeah. So, but it's, Grand Marnier, I'll put that in a margarita more likely than anything else.
That's one thing we'll have to do sometimes, margaritas, because I'm not like a big margarita fan. So yeah.
Anyway. You have to have a good mix. That's what it is.
I know.
And
usually I don't have a good mix. That's why. I can tell you a story about margaritas. We did a thing in our house. We used to have big parties when we had the lake house, and my father-in-law decided to create this contest for the best margarita. Okay. And everybody had to come up with their own recipe. So he literally bought whatever it was the gift was, right? And then he spent weeks perfecting his recipe. Okay. And his recipe got voted to win. But he was a chemist, so.
Well, I went to Guatemala many eons ago. My family's from there. I was, oh my goodness, I was 21 at the time, I guess. And one of my cousins was graduating from college. So big party. And I said, well, I'm going to make margaritas. So, we go buy the tequila, and it is freaking expensive tequila. And I'm going, what the heck? And then the guy looks at me and he says, it's imported. And I went, duh. Tequila from Mexico, even though we're in Guatemala, country next door, it's still imported, very expensive. So I bought it. And so of course, it's Guatemala. There is no margarita mix. So there I am, hand squeezing the lemons, the limes, the oranges, and I don't know what else I put in there, but I made my own mix and made the batch. So there I was all day long, hand, not even a little thing. It was like a fork in my hand. Made the mix, really good margarita mix, and then of course added a little bit of beer in the third batch, and they really like that. Give it a little bit of something, something. So kind of like adding Grand Marnier, you add a little bit of a light beer of some sort. It gives it a little extra something. So that we'll do that when we do margaritas.
So, but I did get for Christmas. All right, we'll
Ooh.
talk about our Christmas gifts too. For Christmas, I did get a juicer.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
not only am I going to be making healthy juices, but I figured out a way to actually really intensify my Bloody Mary mix.
Ah, there you go. And you can do that mixers for different alcohols, especially vodkas. You can do so much with juicing and vodka. Just saying. So did you pick that, or did Gwen pick that for you?
She got that for me. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, I got her an espresso machine.
Ooh, that you also get to use.
Yeah. Well, there's a story. One of the first gifts, the first Christmas we ever had together, I bought it was a fancy Starbucks one. I got a top of the line espresso bar for our kitchen now.
Okay.
All right. So she can make anything she wants, from a cappuccino to just 2 shots of espresso. Right.
Nice.
I never really, the juicer surprised me. I never would have thought that she would have got that for me, but she thought that, like, because I've been trying to do a lot of healthy juices and stuff, that she thought that would be a great thing for me. Of course it does. It is messy. I will say that.
I
All right.
had
It's
one.
not like normally everything I do is like a how quick make. This is not a quick make thing. So anyway,
Oh, okay.
but I
Good to
did
know.
think about, like, the first thing I looked up was, hey, I can make my own Bloody Mary mix with this
There
thing.
you go. Make it easy. Yeah, and then you can play around with it beforehand. It's citrus. That's a lot, is the citrus, and then add some Grand Marnier to it, so that way it's already in your mix. You got to test different things out. Oh, you're gonna have so much fun with that. So, all right. So you said the other one was.
Yeah. So what are you going to do next? Are you on the rosé now?
Yes, I'm opening up the rosé, because since you have a rosé, I figured might as well.
Yeah,
open
I
up
only
the
have
rosé.
2 today. All right. I have more downstairs, but I only got 2.
Okay.
And this rosé that Gwen got, this one here, is actually from South Africa. It's a company called Graham Beck.
Okay.
So.
Oh. Mine is going to be the cousin, brother, sister. I guess it's a rosato, again from Dandelion, product of Italy. So these are brother, sister, and as you can tell, blue and pink. Oh, for baby showers, these are perfect gifts for baby showers. Or what do they say?
That's what the mother needs, is, like, some good, like, champagne when she has a kid.
Well, once the kid is born, yes. But no, you know how they'll do the parties that say, gender release party. So
yeah. That's true.
So,
I love popping it right in front of the microphone. Oops.
oh, look at that pretty pink. How dark is yours? Mine is pretty light on the pink.
Hold on, I'm keeping it from dripping all over my desk mat.
Clean up. Napkin. That's what the napkin's for.
That's what I have napkin here for. So
I will grab a little bit of my cheese to cleanse my palate.
I have seltzer water here, and to cleanse mine between. So
I got nuts too. Almonds. The beauty about sparkling wines is they go with just about anything. Pretzels, burgers, charcuterie boards, a nice dinner.
I don't know. Well, in the camera, it looks like a golden red, but I'm telling you, it's more it is pink. Yours looks more white than mine in the camera.
I probably need a white background, not a black background, but.
So yeah, I'm dealing up with. Anyway, I don't have. Let me try it with my white napkin, my dirty white napkin. There we go.
Oh, there, yeah. You know what? I have a.
So the paper towel shows it a little bit better. Yeah, yours is a little.
It's light. It is very, very light.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have gorgeous color. Mine is like super light. Okay, well, that's interesting. Oh, and a true champagne should only have one line of bubbles going up, not a bunch of lines of bubbles. And it's the
Mine has
process of how
4.
they make it. Yeah, I have like all sorts of bubbles going everywhere. Um, this one's okay. I think I like the Brut a little bit better.
I don't know. This is a different rosé. Again, this is South Africa, so it's like
Okay.
it's the first time I've tasted the South Africa one.
I didn't even know South Africa would make sparklings.
So, like what we do on New Year's Eve is we go to a wine bar called Crew here in
Okay.
Dallas
CRU?
for dinner, and usually every year I get a sparkling flight
Okay.
every year. So like I usually taste, and their sparkling flight can range anywhere from Italy to France to, I mean, they've had combinations of stuff.
Nice.
And I always love that because I'm never getting, almost always every year, I'm never getting the same thing. And I like to do a flight rather than doing a glass of champagne.
Right, because you get to taste different things, and then you
I
see
know I'm
what
a
is it that you
taster.
like.
I'm not a
Yeah.
drinker. I'm a taster.
There you
All
go.
right. It's very important. I guys tell you guys that's just me. I love tasting things, not drinking them. So
Right. So the taste means an ounce, sometimes less than that.
mhm.
There was a time when I was in California. One of my girlfriends, she would come down from Northern California to visit me, and we'd go to Temecula.
Mhm.
And so I was the driver. So we would get one flight for her, and then I would taste here and there, just like
Mhm.
sparingly, just a little, just to get a little taste of it. And when I would go to Northern California, she was my driver. So then I would get the flight, and then she would taste here and there.
Mm.
So it truly was just a taste. You're not drinking. It's wine tasting, not wine drinking.
Yeah. I
And this is
truthfully,
sparkling.
even when I go to like your whiskey, you know what I mean? I go to, do whiskey distillers. I want to do tastings. I don't want to go in there and just have one
Right.
thing. That's just me.
It's,
I want to get flavor, all right, because I want to know what flavor is, and that way it tells me what to buy and take home. Because
Yep.
usually when I bring, like if I were to get Mum, like Mum is probably the one that we do the most for champagnes in California. We did visit Shandon while we were there for my birthday in
Oh,
2016.
I like
To
Shandong.
me, Shandon it's a lot of show.
Really? Okay.
It's not. I don't go to places for the show. I go to places because I want to taste the flavor.
Okay.
Shandon to me was a show. All right, and
Aw.
for my 50th birthday, Gwen picked Shandon because basically we had a limo full of people and we wanted to give people. We would have went to Mum,
Okay.
but I love tasting at a place and then bringing home some of them so that when I taste them, I open up this bottle.
Mhm.
I'm remembering that trip,
Aw.
not
Yeah.
not tasting. I'm remembering the trip, not tasting the alcohol again.
Right. It's about the experience, and
Mhm.
really, truly, spirits are about the experience.
Mhm.
What are you experiencing with when you taste it? Like for me, my family in Guatemala having margaritas, and my cousin graduating. I mean, that was awesome. For you, is your 50th, and where did you go, and who were you with, and what
Mhm.
did you do, and what did they say? That's important, and that's part of spirits is what are the things that you're experiencing while you're drinking that. So for me, it'll be stressing over not breaking my Tiffany's
Yeah.
glass while I'm, doing wine tasting or a sparkling tasting. So it's kind of fun stuff like that. Gotta
Would
have fun
you,
with
in
it.
the rosé that you just tasted, would you add strawberries or raspberries to this one?
Ooh, that is a great. Well, I did eat so the raspberry. I just picked it up and ate it. I didn't even put it in there. But
Mhm.
yes, the raspberry went very well. So raspberries with the rosé.
Mhm.
The what'll happen with your strawberry? I don't know so much of a raspberry, but the strawberry, the color starts coming out of the strawberry.
Mhm.
If you leave it in there for a while, it just starts pulling out. But for me, it's about the taste of it. If I want color, you can always put food coloring in anything and it's not going to change the flavor of it. But having a pretty rosé with some raspberries, oh yum. Yes, this tasted really good I actually liked it with the raspberry even more than just by itself.
Yeah.
I did really like the Brut. This I can drink on its own. No,
Mhm.
nothing else needed.
I can drink both of these. Of course, I am drinking both of them on their own tonight. So anyway, because I didn't bring up, but really, I very rarely have a rosé with an orange juice.
Right. No, that
I will
doesn't
have
matter.
accents like your fruit into it. Your,
Mhm.
you know what I mean?
Right.
To me, I will not use a rosé for a mimosa.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. The flavor's not there. It's about what flavors go well with what.
Yeah, and that's it. Again, I'm tasting things for the experience. And we had, I forget which one we had on Christmas Day. I usually there's a couple different ones that I find that I get, and I'll usually only get the small bottles for Gwen and me. All right, for certain celebrations.
The little ones.
Yeah, because I don't, like I'll again. This is about $20, right? Truthfully, if we open this on a Sunday, we might finish it, right? But like if we're having a celebratory dinner, we're not going to drink this and eat a full meal.
Right.
We're going to have a small amount with our meal.
And then that's why you have the little, your little guy.
Yep. So, and I have a second one here, all right, for this one. See?
Yeah. Since I had the little bottles, I just corked it. I just screwed it off.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
that's important stuff. It's don't open the bottle unless you know that you're going to be drinking it over the next, and I'm going to find out how long this one.
I think you should open that one and taste it while we're on camera and let us know how it held for 27 days.
Oh, well, I did hear the fizz.
There's still some fizz to it.
Yeah. So I'm going to clean this out. That was to get the rest of the rosé out. You always want to cleanse, and since I don't have, anything you always want to use the wine. If you use water, then usually there's water left in there. So you usually want to use a little bit of the wine to clear it out.
One of the reasons I brought my second cup up is like I can drip off into the other cup when I wanted to move to the next one.
Right. And in my case, I have another one over here. So you still have all the little bubbles down here and then multiple bubbles going up. So you see the little bubbles?
Yep, it's still bubbling.
Yeah,
so
it's still bubbling.
And now this is from your winery that you're ambassador at. Ambassador
and owner. So I was an owner before I was an ambassador. But yes, this is the Bernot. The owner his name is Jim Bernot. So this is named after him. And this is the 2017 Méthode Champenois Brut, Willamette Valley, Oregon. Okay. And it's got Jim's signature in the back. It's still got the fizz in there, and it's still got good flavor. Oh my goodness! This one is, when you look at the color of what the Italian one was, and this one has more color. Okay. And so the color may or may not make a difference. It just depends. You have to do a side-by-side comparison to truly see is what the one you're drinking darker or lighter, and what are the flavor differences. Because I didn't have the side-by-side comparison, I can't tell you the difference, but to me, it looks darker.
Well, that is one of the things I like about doing a flight is I have the three side by side and I go between them tasting to find out my favorite.
Yep.
Have you found that when you were doing a tasting, all right, of a flight where you've tasted your champagne and almost always you go back to the first one or second one it becomes your favorite?
I've not paid attention to that. I've done it with, like whiskey flights that I try different ones, like I try a cleanse, I try the other one, and then I'll go back to whichever one grabbed me for whatever reason. And then I want to leave that one for last.
I know. I always want to leave the one for last that I like the most. All right. But I have this is on champagne only. I've not had this with wine.
Okay.
I've not had this with whiskey. I've had it with champagne only. That almost always the first one I taste
is the one you go back to.
My favorite.
Oh. Why do you think that is? Is it that your
know.
brain said, "Ooh, I like this. This is yummy. We're about to have fun"?
I think it's the first one that bubbles because it's a bubbly and it's the first thing that bubbles up and grabs my attention. All right. In other words, really, there's no such thing as a bad bubbly when you think of it that way. All right. The problem is whatever one you taste first, that's now the comparison. That's now the highest ranking thing for you. Everything else is going to be subpar because if you reversed it and if I had three and I picked the one in the middle the second time, that one's going to be my favorite.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And you've tested this theory before?
It's something that every time I go to Crew and do a tasting, I always wonder. It always happens, and I'm like, why? It's only with bubblies.
Oh, good to know. Good to know. I will have to think about that one.
Mm-hmm. So.
But yeah, this first one, I did really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is Brut Dandelion. So if you want something sweeter, go with an Asti. And I mean, I loved Asti Bellatore for the longest time. And then I moved on from that because it was just a little bit on the sweeter side, but it was still pretty good. Asti Spumante from, I forgot who made that one, but the Asti, and I did have that one. I'm afraid to open it because I think it's going to be too sweet. What is it?
For me, it's we have here in Texas, we have two almond, two Texas places that make almond. One of them is the one that we're members in VIP with is the one. The other one is one that's down near where Sandra D lives, down the other side of Austin. And we found that one first, and then we found the second one, which is gosh, and I know the names, I just can't.
Well, for me, the first time I tasted an almond sparkling was in Temecula so if you're in Southern California, go to the Wilson Winery. It is on the main road, at the end of the main road past Ponte, and they have the most delicious almond wine. I have not had it in forever and a day. It's a sparkling, and it's very reasonably priced. So that's one that I do like. And then I found out that One Hope Wine, that donates 10% of their sales to nonprofits, they also have an almond wine, but it is out of stock. And I told the rep, when it comes back on stock, you let me know because I want to try it. And they're out of Northern California. And so I will have to try your almond wine out of Texas because I know that I've liked almond wines, and we'll have to do a pairing just with almond wines to see what are the differences from Northern California, Texas, and Southern California.
Okay. So the ones we have are Messina Hoff, that's where we are VIP members here in Texas, and they're originally out of College Station, Texas. But the second one is Flat Creek Winery, and they are out of Marble Falls, Texas.
Okay.
And that was the first one we ever got and fell in love with it. And then we went back through there and got some of it one time. And then we realized that we were stopped at Messina Hoff down in the hill country and realized, oh my gosh, Messina Hoff has one too. So now we just get a bunch of it from Messina Hoff rather than going back to Flat Creek, because Flat Creek, we have to drive all the way down to Marble Falls to get it.
How long of a drive is that?
It's a 4-hour drive.
Oh yeah.
I'm not driving for 4 hours just to pick up a couple of bottles of wine. No, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm just not that way.
So
when I could drive 30 minutes to get,
So the stopper here is from Michelle, which is Chateau Saint Michel, and it's pretty you're able to get it. It's not a very difficult one to get, but I'll
bet you'll never guess where mine are from.
Your crew. Oh, the light's hitting it. I can't see it.
Wait a minute. I'll look at the other one because the other one's dark. So they're both from the same winery. So
Yeah, my camera's over here, my laptop's over here, so Tim's over here. So forgive me.
Mom.
Of course. So
that was the first place we ever seen him, was at Mom. And we were like, hey, we're buying some of them.
Right. This is awesome. I bought a couple of these at Chateau Saint Michel. One of my friends, Michelle, she's a sommelier and she lives in Colorado. I hadn't seen her in a while. I met her in Texas, El Paso, and she was military or a military wife. And she ended up moving. All my military wife friends all moved at the same time. And at one point she was up in Washington, but I hadn't seen her. My schedule hadn't been able to see her. She's going to leave. But she was doing this road trip through this one area of Washington. And I'm like, well, I want to go. So she told me where they were going to go, met up with her. So I got to spend time with her and some of her friends. Well, one of her friends worked for the winery. So she got us tours and she was able to get us discounts. And so I got a case for a wedding. And so when I was at the wedding, they were going to give me cooked wine and I'm like, or sparkling. And I was like, no, I want the good stuff. Actually, what I said is, I want the good shit. And they looked at me like, what? I said, yeah, I know you have the Chateau Saint Michel back there. That's what I want. And they're all like, oh, okay, because they had a mimosa bar. And I was like, nope, I just want the sparkling because it's that good. So yeah, Chateau Saint Michel, very reasonably priced, and it's good. I really liked it. So those are some of the things. I'm trying things I've not tried. Well, besides this one, I'm trying things I've not tried before, because that's the way you learn. Okay, I know that I've liked this forever and a day, but what if there's something else that I prefer?
Well, what if something? Yeah, what if something else will awaken my palate more?
Exactly. Oh, the reason I had brought this one up is because this is a Moscato d'Asti. So anytime you see Moscato, it's going to be sweet. So this is one that I probably won't drink. I mean, I could open it and have a little taste, but it's too sweet for me. So if you want sweet, look for Moscato. If you want a little bit of sweet, not as sweet as d'Asti. If you want dry, go with Brut. So you will see Brut on the bottle.
Yep.
And then extra dry Brut is, it's even less. It's more on the palate. You will have a certain puckering, but
Yes.
it can be so good.
Yeah.
And add a little bit of orange juice to that, just this much orange juice and the rest sparkling. Oh my goodness, it would be delicious.
So one of the places that we used to go to for breakfast had their own orange juice machine. And they made fresh orange juice mimosas. And like here in Texas, we used to go there for breakfast. On Sunday mornings, they can't serve alcohol until 10 a.m.
Okay.
Right. So we used to go there at like 9:50 or 9:45, 9:50 to get our seat. And we just basically told the server, the second alcohol can be poured, you bring it to our table. And at 10 o'clock, we already had a table, because at 10 o'clock, everybody then would show up because the mimosas can start pouring.
Right.
We already had our table by then, so we were smart. Yeah.
I was going to say, you are very smart. Do that.
So we haven't been there in a while. They switched ownership. So the original owner's concept on that place is why I went there. But yeah, since then I've moved on to other places. So anyway.
Hey, you got to try different places. That's how you know, again, you're figuring out. It's not that you're being, unfaithful to the other one, but you know what? You got to try what is going to work for you. What's going to grab at your palate. So are you going to stay up until midnight, or are you going to do what I do is watch 9 o'clock? You're going to be.
Here's what I'm doing on mine. All right. And then we tell you, we go to dinner at Crew, and then we basically come home. We'll watch TV for maybe an hour or so, and we go to bed 10:30, 11 o'clock. I do not stay up. And here's why. In 2010, New Year's Eve, 2010, at 6 p.m., I got a call that my father died. I will forever associate New Year's Eve with the day my dad died.
Okay.
It is not a day of celebration for me. It is not a day that I want to go out. But I've been invited to some parties too. It's not a day that I want to go to parties. I'm sorry. I just don't. That is not a day I want to celebrate anymore. I'm sorry.
No.
All right. Okay. But I do go to dinner. I know that is something we do go to dinner. And we went to dinner with my father-in-law. All right. After my father passed, all right, every year we would go to a restaurant for dinner. Okay. We used to go to one that was down in Irving when my father-in-law was alive.
Okay.
And 2013 was the last one we did with him, New Year's Eve, because he died in March of 2014.
Okay.
So since then, we've been going to Crew, because Crew is here close to us where we live. And we go there for a dinner, and literally there's a dinner special. Like, you know what I mean? We my mom's here now, so mom goes with, and it's like $27 a person, or $37, whatever it is. I think it's probably $47 a person now. Includes three, you know what I mean? Includes, your choice of 3 courses and, a flight. And that's why that's all we do to celebrate, is have a dinner on New Year's Eve and we come home. How about you?
I have been in Dallas for one New Year's. I've been with friends. I remember New Year's of 2000, when everything was going to crash. And so I was along with friends, and we just were at somebody's house and had a grand old time, and that was fun. I'm, it's not that big a deal. It's, I'm okay watching, the ball drop in New York at 9 p.m. my time. I would do that with mama. And sometimes if I had some sparkling, we toast, and sometimes we didn't, because, I didn't have it. So, some scotch, single malt scotch, whatever it was. And But I remember at some point growing up, it's like, oh, you got to have a Hispanic thing, the grapes, and then you had to have something yellow. I don't remember what the yellow was for, and I don't remember what the grapes were for. There's this whole thing you had to do, blah, 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 and so it's just like I've done all the little things as I was growing up just because why not?
Yeah.
Now it's like I'm perfectly okay. And last year I fell asleep before. And so, of course, then the fireworks went off, and so it's like, oh, it must be New Year's. Let's go outside and check out the fireworks.
Yeah.
So got to see the fireworks. So, and then of course the dog was going crazy because poor thing, he was all like, no, don't like the fireworks. So it hasn't been like a big deal, but right now I'm just, as much as I love being around people, I really don't want to be around people. Sorry, love you all, but I'm still feeling a little uncomfortable with everything going on. And I'm around other clients and I'm around family that are high risk because of their health issues that they've had in the past. They're higher risk for catching COVID, and I don't want to be the one to bring it home. So I'm okay staying around, away from people. As much as I love you all, I really do. I'm definitely a people person and I draw energy from others, but I'm also okay staying home and listening, watching the fireworks right outside, can go out the front door and go, oh, fireworks. Okay. Sounds good. And enjoy that.
So that's it. I mean, you got to do what you got to do on however you want to celebrate. So in the meantime, though, I do want to say it has been great. It's been great getting started with this year. I look forward to doing things with you next year. All right. And making this podcast grow and do more interesting tastings. So
I know we got so much to do this coming year. It's going to be so much fun. Continue to stay tuned. You're going to learn new things and you're going to be going, let's try new things. And remember, most places will have the little tasters. We'll have the little bottles. Don't
do the little tasters. Don't waste the whole bottle. If that's all you're going to have is just have a taster.
Yeah. Little bottle, $4, little bottle, $3, okay. Maybe if you're doing some, high-end stuff, you might be spending $12, but you know what? Then you don't have to feel that I've just spent $50 on this bottle.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No fun.
No. So anyway, well, other than that, all right. I want to say to all of our listeners, all right, sorry we weren't here for last week for Christmas. I was a little sick, but we want to say Happy New Year to you guys. Merry Christmas. And we will see you in 2022.
That's right. Love y'all.
All right. And in the meantime, all right, this broadcast is brought to you by my events, Simple Easy Events, and your insurance, which is
Insurance by Design.
Insurance by Design. So, I thought I had those little things for us to put up, but I guess not. Anyway. Oh, well. In the meantime, guys, have a great week. We will see you guys next Monday.